All right? From here on out, no talking about Hitler.
Dude, I swear to God, like you go to the strangest when anybody starts a topic or anything happens, you like there's a path, right? But you go
Uh
like
huh.
left and right, and you get distracted very easily.
Me?
Yeah,
I have ADD.
I have ADHD too. How long have you been on the meds?
Like since first grade,
Oh, okay.
7, 8 years old.
Man, the, you know, when I was in Syria, when the revolution started and turned the civil war, when in the demonstration when they started shooting at us, and in war zones and all of that stuff, I felt like an adrenaline rush, right? That made me feel concentrated. You know when you're in that danger zone and you
Mm-hmm.
start feeling like in the zone, right? You start feeling focus, and it's not like what other people like feel panic and can't think straight and stuff like that. So when I came in Germany and I was like interviewed by the first medication he prescribed to me wasn't like stimulants. They are a different type of medication, which it functions like in a different way. What it does is like it raises your noradrenaline, so you focus much better. And it's like, man, I used to like focus better in demonstrations when they like in danger when they started shooting at us in war zones because my noradrenaline was high. It's all fucking brain chemistry. Why you like seek that adrenaline?
Anyway, what makes you say that it was weird for me to start talking about Hitler, which we're not going to talk about?
No, it's like just an example. Just an
Well,
example.
so there, you want to know how I got to the have you seen Anthony Hopkins playing Hitler thing? Because we were talking about the Bolsheviks in Israel, right? And so, like, there's a line that was in the clip I was trying to show you where he's ranting about Jewish Bolsheviks and Jewish Marxism. So it's like, it just triggered in my
Ah,
head. So that's how we got there to Hitler being Anthony Hopkins. And from there, it was, how come you can't hear this video?
holy shit, man. So you didn't tell me what like was censored, man. What the fuck? You didn't tell me what was censored.
But we didn't get there. We didn't listen to that part even.
Yeah, but this is the fucking whole what do you call it?
It's actually it was actually on topic with what we were talking about.
Yeah,
It's the German
this is
government's
the
fault
plot
we
punch.
derailed.
This is the punchline. This is the fucking punchline. And I didn't, oh my God, man. Holy shit. Like, do you think like it's
Yeah.
censored to this level?
If it is, that's
My God,
crazy.
that's
If Revi shows up, they're also in Germany. Let's
Azad.
see if it fucks up for them.
I will answer your question right now. I'm still like processing, like, holy shit, man. Man, it makes sense actually. Like, Germany is one of the states that like manufactured the whole like narrative, right?
About
They
how the Holocaust
manufactured.
is a lie?
No, man, what the fuck are you?
I
No, it's not a lie, but
know, I'm just
it's like
kidding.
yeah, I know. It's the Holocaust is very real. It's just like the exceptionalism, like Jewish suffering exceptionalism, and like not Nazi exceptional evilness, right? No, it's like the Bolsheviks were like partners in the crime, and it's because like German, like Stadträson in Germany, Stadträson is like the reason for the state. One of the reasons for the German state is like to protect the Israel state. This is actually like all politicians say it like openly. One of Germany Stadträson is like the reason for the state is the protection of Jewish people in Israel. Okay, this is another topic. I will. My opinion about the coming elections in Germany.
I have an opinion.
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
really an opinion. I just wanted to ask you, did you see the thing where the AfD was saying that they're not fascist because Hitler was socialist?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wasn't that funny?
Alice Weidel said that. Yeah, it's insane. It's very insane. It's like I cannot put into words how insane that is. It was met with mockery in Germany. Everybody mocked him. Like
I
everybody
bet.
who's who knows anything. And right now, when I don't know if people know this, but there was like a vote in Congress a week ago, and this is very important for the German elections. The vote was like very strict immigration laws. Some people were saying like it's extremely fascistic immigration law, and the CDU was the Merkel's party, like conservative, like center,
Hmm.
was the ones who made the policy, and it was rejected by the parliament, by the German parliament, and basically all like German leftists now are saying this is a major revelation that CDU will 100% collide with AfD in the parliament if they got the chance. That they're lying right now. Like CDU is saying, like some of their politicians say, they will never form a joint party with the AfD. But everybody is saying that will 100% happen, and I've been saying that will happen like for years now, and some people don't believe it. Some centrist, like some friends of mine who work in the Zeitung, like this is one of Germany's biggest newspapers, and he said this was actually very smart from the CDU because now they're polling people that would have voted for AfD, but now they won't vote for AfD. They will vote CDU because CDU 100% will not join the AfD and they will not form a government.
Well, how's your
But this guy
polling
is an
looking?
idiot. It looks right now it's like 30% CDU, 20%. This is the national, 20% AfD. So like both are 50%,
Um, and then
and the rest is
uh,
like
last I checked, Reform is leading in UK right now by a point.
no fucking way, man.
Last I checked.
They were 15. They were 15 when the
I
election
don't.
happens.
It's
Like
just I don't know.
50% or
It's just
something.
like polling. I watched it the other day. I watch a lot of stuff, so I don't recall the exact thing. But yeah, apparently they're doing pretty well this election.
The
But
point is lying, Azab. The point is lying. It's people who are afraid that the AfD will take control. Like there's like a hierarchy of priorities, right? People will vote AfD if they feel like the only chance for change will be AfD, choosing AfD. So they will try avoiding that. And what the CDU did, they said like look, we can be Nazis too, like right? We will make this policy. This policy was like make it extremely impossible for refugees to come to Germany. It was like also like a lot of deportations and stuff like that. It was basically very strict, like what if they wanted. So they can argue that to the people who will want to vote for other parties, but they will vote for AfD if they felt AfD was the only chance for them to get that policy, because people want that policy without AfD ruling because they're actually afraid of the Nazi party. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, they want the policy, but they don't want the party. But it's like I don't know how to say it in English, but it's like Uh, it's basically like it's like virtue signaling, right? It's like no, AfD and CDU have like 50% now, almost. It's it's like at least 45%. AfD is 20% and CDU is like 30%.
I
Yeah,
just doing my
exactly.
little
Like, what are you
tweets.
more afraid of, like Nazis or foreigners? Yeah, yeah. So it's like 50% now, like
I'm
exactly
with the
50%.
Nazis. How about that?
Yeah, and it's basically what happened in the United States, right? It's like with migration and like populism. You know, when they interview lots of people, and lots of people voted for um what's it called? Man, I fucking I can't think right now. AOC, like voted for AOC and Trump.
Yeah, AOC and Trump.
Yeah, and like you ask them why did you vote for AOC and Trump, and they said that because they're both anti-establishment.
Yeah, they're breaking down the walls.
Yeah, and it's very complicated right now in Germany. People who are smart, they understand that there's actually no barrier for CDU and AfD not to form a party. Like not form a party, I'm sorry, like not form a government.
Coalition.
Yeah, in a coalition system, right? And and it's very complicated because even if they started a coalition, it will be very hard to govern effectively. It will be basically like what Trump is doing right now because it's also not a very strong government. That's why it's Trump is like doing all of these executive orders, right? Because he doesn't have like legislative efficiency, you can say, right? So on a government level, it's very complicated.
Man, this logo
Yeah,
keeps
100%.
hovering.
They will form a coalition. That's like I'm 100% sure of this. 100%. Because it's like you made that policy, right? You made that policy, that Nazi policy. So like you can't say like we will never join the AfD because they're Nazis and then they like exactly like do the Nazi stuff, right? It's just aesthetics at this point. And you have to think about it because people don't want SPD. People don't want SPD, the link, like these leftist parties, right? So the CDU cannot form a government with those parties either. Like imagine like if the CDU said, okay, we will not join AfD, or even some lots of people want them to join the AfD, and the CDU say like we will never form a party, form a coalition with those parties. Then the CDU goes and form a party with SPD. Like people will be much more angry at that. Like if the center, like conservative center, like with Merkel's party, form a coalition with SPD and these parties, people will be much more will be angrier than if they formed a coalition with the AfD. And people who will be angry if the government form a coalition with the AfD, these people are, you can basically say like they're the educated, right? They're the like the intellectual elites. So these people have like they probably well off economically, and they have like social mobility and stuff like that. Social mobility in Germany is much easier than United States, I think. Yeah, and it's not only like Austria right now. It's not only Germany. It's Austria. It's Romania. It's everywhere. It's all everywhere. It's It's a very fucked up situation. Like if you see Britain right now, right? John said reform is now like leading in the polls,
Last I
right?
checked.
And you say, okay, but Labour have the government right now, right? But Labour will collapse. Like give them 2 years max. They cannot do anything because everything they can do now right now is like continue the enforcement of austerity politics.
Mm-hmm.
Will they tax the rich people? They will not do that. It's fucked. It's a very fucked situation. Like the
Oh,
only
suddenly
thing you
people
can do,
can't earn money. Okay, socialist.
yeah,
What was I about to Google? I don't know.
it's very very complicated situation because like people can clearly see right now how bad politicians are, how like basically like the elites have almost like very solid control over politicians. So basically, you cannot like enact more taxes. Like it's not tax cuts that you want to do. You want to tax the rich far more than right now, and they cannot do it. They cannot like there's like actual physical barrier. Like it's not even discussed. Like they can't do it. They can actually like I don't know how like there's point a gun to their head. They will not do it.
Oh, James just posted. Tell him he's a motherfucker. Okay, okay.
Yeah, it's like at least socialism, and it's nationalism. The reason why nationalism is very strong, it's like basically the only thing that collectively can control the masses, right? Because like how many people can you argue that can actually reason and think and like understand politics and understand the nuance and the historical relevance and like the true identity of the human and all of these possibilities. People don't understand that what the only possible
Oh, that's I was
mechanism
gonna look
or
up
tool.
reforms British polls.
Yeah, good. Yeah, exactly. Nationalism is a very, very strong tool. It's a very, very strong tool. It's we talk about how the United States is very nationalistic and Germany is very nationalistic, but even the underdogs are very nationalistic. Uh, I've read a lot of like my countrymen, Kurdish people, and even they like I've read some of their comments, and they talk to me, and I tell them, and they say we should capture Raqqa. It's ours now. Like why should we leave it to the Arabs? And you should leave it to the Arabs because it's 100% Arab city. It's 100% Arab. We don't have any Kurds in Raqqa. It's not. It's like beyond that. Like beyond the strategical point, beyond the buffer zone, beyond all of these arguments. No, they actually want to capture Raqqa for themselves. It's like a expansionist Kurdish. Like how Greater Kurdistan can exist. But actually, Greater
Mm-hmm.
Kurdistan is just Kurdistan. Greater Kurdistan is bigger than like just Kurdistan.
Sometimes they'll be claiming Armenia on some of those.
Yeah, there is anti-Arab racism among Kurds. There is anti like Turkish. There is limits like there is a pragmatic reasoning and acceptance of the cultural um, uniqueness of the Kurds with their language and their culture and all of this stuff. There's like a fine line, right? But most people don't understand this, and people like you will you will go crazy when you hear in like closed rooms how nationalistic arguments, and you cannot argue with these people. Like what can you say? Because you don't have the power. You're the underdogs, regardless.
Anyway, here's the poll.
Yeah, that's fucking insane,
Yeah.
man.
I guess they're especially doing well with young people. Story of fascism, am I right?
Yeah. Labour got very lucky because the Tories fucked up, but it will never. That's like they will miss their chance. Now you have the governing right now, but what will you do with it? Nothing.
I think pretty much incumbents are going to be doomed for a while. It's going to be interesting when we start seeing a shift towards normalcy,
Yeah.
but everyone spam
In 5 years,
James. Everyone go to James and tell him he's a bitch and to get in here. Say, you a bitch.
the British elections are in 5 years.
Hmm?
They didn't do anything yet. Labour didn't do anything. Like it's like even worse. The situation is even worse now. Oh man.
Hmm. Hmm.
So they did some stuff, but it isn't like very meaningful. Oh man.
What did you say about elections in Britain just now? Did you say they're not for 5 years?
Yeah, like 5 years, right? They just
No, they're in May.
what?
Yeah, I had to check.
The election just happened in Britain.
Yeah, welcome to parliamentary systems. We're going to have elections whenever we feel like it.
Wait, did they wait, what happened? Did something happen?
I don't know. I just know that we have been covering British elections that are going to happen. Okay. So,
No, guys, it's the government can collapse. It's maybe it's yeah, maybe it's local elections. I don't know.
I think I think I'm going to guess that the elections were always scheduled for May
No, every 5 years.
and they no, this is like the standard state because the conservatives collapsed. Their coalition fell apart, so they
Yeah, yeah,
did a snap election. So I don't think that
yeah, yeah.
overwrites the scheduled election. Is my guess.
Yeah, the prime minister can call the election,
Hmm.
and Rishi Sunak called the elections early. Like they could have waited another 6, 9 months even, and he
Okay,
didn't want to
so
wait.
it's not a general election for these parties, but because it's the UK, it still could change seats. It's local elections. They'll be held in May. All council seats on the 14 counties are up for election. First local election since 2024 election, general election. So,
Yeah, so basically, you don't have good outcomes in Germany because the best outcome is like this is the best outcome ever. The current government is the best government ever. Like it's the best possible government, the current government.
mm-hmm.
The shitty thing about this current government, and this will make everybody here extremely mad. There are three parties governing Germany right now. It's SPD, Die Grüne, and FDP. And FDP is the one party that ruined everything, that ruined the whole governing. It's like the Libertarian Party. SPD
Well, I
is,
last I checked, AFD was saying we're actually libertarians, not socialists. That's why we're not Hitler.
dude, there's lots of commonality between AfD and the FDP. And
It's
FDP is they're the ones who ruined all the policies. They're the one that stopped legislation. They're the ones that always like interrupted governing, right, in legislation. And they only had like 5%. Like Die Grüne got like 10, 12%, and SPD got like 30 something, right? And this fucking party, like FDP, no, I think now they have 5%, but they had like 15% when the government formed, and they were like ruining every legislation. Like they were very disruptive, very, very disruptive. And now everybody hates them. I think they're 5% right now. You can check. It's
check.
like
What am I checking?
the
Does it
Die
matter?
Grüne and SPD, Die Grüne is like just more environmentalist. That's it. It's SPD is better on social policies. SPD is like arguably, my opinion, the best party in Germany. It's the best policy. Like they have the best policies for trans people, for social
Oh no, we're still in the
problems.
Marvel Rivals category.
Yeah.
Sorry
And
to
the
interrupt.
Greens are just like the Greens are just the same, but with basically like more environmentalism.
The Greens are always funny in every country.
Un- Not in Germany, not in Germany. The Greens are different from like Belgian and Dutch and other green parties.
Yeah? How so?
They're very, very pro-Israel, extremely pro-Israel.
Yep, well, that's Germany.
Yeah, I studied economics and I studied IT also. Um, the foreign minister, which is like from the Green Party, she said, like she like openly said that like this wasn't a very long time ago. This was 4 months ago. So like long into the massacre, into like the genocide in Gaza. And she was saying Israel has to do what they have to do. Like they just have to do it. It's like uh, oh my God, this is like the Green Party, right? This is like the Humane Party, and she was they're uh, more supportive of Israel, I can say. Like the Greens Party, they are more supportive than SPD. SPD is less supportive than the Greens, I can say.
So,
That's nice. Is he mad? Like every nation is like recognizing like the new flag of Syria, and this guy is not happy about it.
he's mad because apparently Mosul is a Kurdish city, so they can't recognize Arab countries or something.
And this guy is an idiot.
You know, I
Like
was just
Germany
laughing
invited
because you were just talking about the nationalism, and this showed up on my feed, and I'm like, okay,
did you know that Giuliani is
why is
invited
bro
by Germany?
pressed? Huh?
Germany invited Giuliani officially.
Good. Think he's gonna go?
Of course, he's going to go.
You think he's an internationally wanted criminal?
Of course, he will go. 100%. Didn't they drop the 10 millions? You know, do you think
I
like do you honestly think like Germany is like this psych and then they capture him or something?
what? What do you mean? Huh? My stomach making all
What?
kinds of noises, and the mic's picking them all up.
Yeah. Man, this is one of the weirdest timelines in human history, I think. Berlin is fantastic.
So, do we want
Berlin
to
is
talk
probably
about?
like the best city in the world.
We want to talk about the main topic here.
Yeah, I will pee. I can hear you, huh? Prepare the topic.
I just gotta send something to Jack O' Lantern real quick. Where's Where's James? Everyone go harass James and tell him he's a bitch. Okay. It's here somewhere. No, 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 no. Redo the little scroll lean. It took me that entire time to find it.
That's the standards, huh? Fudge. Man, this is way bigger than it's to be a coincidence, right? You know how like the Vertrauensfrage in Germany when like the trust question was like asked in Germany and the parliament, and then when parliament votes no, then you have to start like early elections, right? Because elections was supposed to be at the end of this year. So basically, they asked the Vertrauens question, and all of this process initiated because the FDP, the Libertarian Party in the coalition, refused to vote on a policy that the Greens and the SPD wanted to vote on, right? So they fucking collapsed the government and now initiated uh, early elections, right? And is this a coincidence? Like, do you think like people if people because people in Europe are very very affected by the what's happening in the United States, right? Extremely affected and influenced by it. So if Trump fucks up for one full year, do you think people will vote like conservatives? They will not. So this is just like Like,
Oh,
if they pay so fucking incompetent, or are they fucking like kind of like
yeah,
making
that's what
like
I've been
shitty
saying.
deals with?
Is like midterms. I just don't see the conservatives being able to win unless all of a sudden we have a streak where incumbencies start winning no matter what somehow, and
This
then
is
we'll
the
see if
only
America stands out.
incumbency will win in Europe if they Americans really fucks up, right? Because how influenced people are. So this is like, please, like, can you fuck up in the next 2 weeks, like
You
until
think they
German
haven't?
elections? Yeah, but like
Where
really, like
haven't they
fuck.
been fucking up?
Yeah, but like really, please, like showcase it for the people, for the idiots, because Republicans, like most Republicans, don't comprehend what's happening right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it will take 1 year so like they understand. They, oh man, it's actually shit right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, we should abolish the Senate, but that's a story for another day. There's no reason to have the Senate.
man, your fucking government is like kind of very systematically designed to be shit.
The Americans?
Yeah,
Oh, because of the Senate's existence?
yeah.
Yeah, they literally put it there to limit the power of the people. It's literally there as a limiting factor. Because the House of Representatives is actually, it's more based off of the confederal systems that the tribal people here were already using. And then they were like, oh, we're going to do this cool confederal system these guys came out with, but then we're going to go pick this weird, we're going to say that we're adopting it from Rome and say that it's a Senate, and we're going to fuse these two things together because, while this system is cool, they're culturally inferior. So we need to make sure we fucking romanticize and say that we got this democracy from the whites back in Europe who probably weren't white at the time.
Is this actually the argument for the Senate? Because the Senate has to be like 100%
No,
destroyed.
that's
Like,
why they put it in. That's literally why they put it in. Is to limit power. Yes. So
ah,
there's actually been an amendment put in place to abolish the Senate. It didn't go anywhere, but the guy who put it in place, guess what party he belonged to? He
Democrats,
was a
right?
socialist elected to the
Oh,
House. This was a long time ago. Like when socialism was still allowed in this country. I want to say his name is also Hamburger.
like the you know how like fucked you like you realize how fucked people are when gerrymandering happens also.
Well, what's interesting about gerrymandering is that if you actually look at how it's done, it's actually quite balanced where the broad line things it gives slight advantage to each side, right? So actually it isn't that bad on the big picture of far as gerrymandering go. The issue is that they'll do things like divide black districts and stuff. So when it's used in the right wing's favor, it's normally done in an extremely racist way instead of representative. And like that was the whole reason why it was designed is to make sure the representatives. And also, they get to redraw the districts
Yeah, exactly.
out whenever they want. Isn't that wild?
It is insane. It's very insane, like if you think about it, representation on a local level is very diminished through these like very intentionally designed structures. And also when you think about how school boards are also managed, and basically like like there's a kind of like a filter, right, between like people and governing and controlling power and structure and stuff like that. This American anarchist. Are you American anarchist?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's me.
Disgusting.
What?
Disgusting. No, I'm just kidding.
What? What?
No,
What I
I'm
do?
I'm not an I'm not an anarchist. I respect some forms of anarchy. Just like there's like just certain
The
forms of
Senate was
anarchy.
put in place to prevent anarchy. Thanks, Alexander Hamilton.
Yeah.
Bitch.
And school boards.
We should just hit him with clubs.
I'm actually reading one of these books that talks about it. I'll show you this one, the attention merchant,
Mm-hmm.
and it talks about like school boards, also like in schools, and how school boards is run by like financial guys, people like who studied economics and stuff like that, and how they kind of very extremely influenced by uh, by corporations to let them like sponsor schools through their products, so they kids learn how to build nostalgia through these products, to have nostalgia for that shit. And it's very fucked. Like basically your entire existence is like very extremely controlled by corporations. That
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't exist in Germany. Like it,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
idea
We
is fucking
our
crazy.
consumer protections are garbage. That's why. That's why. That's why we stand Lena Khan.
Lena Khan is gone,
She.
right?
She. I mean, I'm not sure if she technically is, because she can still like maintain her position for a certain amount of time or something. Mehdi Hassan asked her about it. I don't remember the exact thing.
Yeah. But guys, they really get this book. It's like really smart, really intellectually thought provoking.
But yeah, it's pretty gross. Our consumer protections, lack thereof.
Yeah, it's when you said consumer protections, I heard in my head corporation protections. There is no
Because
consumer
that's
protection.
what
There
we
is only
do.
corporation protections.
Yeah, James responded to me too. He said his computer blew up. Convenient excuse.
Dude, like even curriculums are fucking influenced, right? Man, like if you open a high school economic books, they probably like talking shit about socialism, right? And like
High school
promoting market
economics.
market and promoting like market social economics and stuff like that.
Bold of you to assume we teach
Yeah.
economics in high school.
Ah, man, I don't even
I
use
mean,
Twitter
we
anymore.
do. It's state by state. New York does, but not every. Yeah, you know, it's pretty cool. That's another cool part about America is that the education isn't mandated and equalized, so it's still segregated because it's based on property taxes. So you pay property taxes. Basically, you pay a school tax every year, depending on the local district that your house is in, right? So, what schools do you think get more funding, and what do you think is the racial makeup of the students there versus the schools that get the least funding? And that's common across the entire country. And then on top of that, the curriculum set by states has fucking just crazy broadline things where like we have people who are trying to remove evolution from textbooks. So I think some states still mandate that you have to teach evolution and creationism.
That's fucking fucked up, man.
I don't know for sure on that though. But I remember
Yeah,
in
and
a
I've
Catholic
also
school it was even like controversial for them to even they had to do a whole disclaimer before they started talking about evolution in my biology class.
yeah, and I've
And then
also read
these
that
these then these Americans go out and go, these libs don't understand basic biology. Bro, you
it's
literally burned the biology
spot on, excellent.
textbooks. Sounds like it's your fault then.
Fudge, I've read that the less educated a kid is about like sex ed, the less sex ed school has, the more
Mm-hmm.
a kid can be
Yep.
susceptible to sexual exploitation.
So,
So if you go on it on a statistic knowledge, so it's fucking wild that people don't want less sexual exploitation.
well, they want more exploitation of children. That's why we also have homeschooling here, which is another thing that's fucking insane. It literally is just an abuse metric to isolate your kids and basically make sure they don't integrate into a society, but integrate into whatever cult beliefs you have. Like it's
It's
and literally we use this homeschooling excuse for the reason why we don't sign the document by the UN to outlaw child soldiers. We say it's because of homeschooling. Because if we sign the document to outlaw child soldiers, we'll have to get rid of homeschooling, even though American doesn't comply to any of these things. Can you imagine that saying something that stupid? We can't outlaw child soldiers because this document will also make it so we can't abuse kids at home instead of sending them to public institutions.
dude, man, dude, I don't understand like how can people like tolerate this shit like I or like I don't know because they never understand like how like Germany, we have shit in Germany, right? But it's levels better than the United States. It's levels like levels and levels, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
Germany, if Germany collapsed, it will not reach like the situation in the United States, right? Everybody's saying Germany will collapse. Shit is Germany. Germany shit. Like even if Germany collapsed and fucking failed, it will not reach United States level. It's fucking insane. Like
No health care. Great country.
no healthcare, fucking corporate-based education. If you
Pharmaceutical
if
companies can advertise directly to you on media, including television, magazines, print, whatever. Pharmaceutical companies. Like you could get an ad for Oxycontin. It's never Oxycontin. It's like Crohn's disease medications and stuff like that.
yeah, you never see
But
that here.
still, that's another thing that a lot of countries just don't allow is drug advertisements like that.
there is a certain amount of censorship in Germany, like media censorship, and also like it's very restricted, and also bureaucracy is very, very annoying here. It's extremely annoying. But when you see like the alternative is, I don't know, maybe you can reduce bureaucracy in a like in a futuristic better system, but if the alternative is the United States, it's like please like keep bureaucracy. When a kid doesn't attend school, police is sent to that kid's home to see if everything is okay, and if there is a valid excuse. If there is no valid excuse, then the parents are fined like 100 and something euros, like every day that the kid doesn't attend school for a valid reason, then they
We
find
actually
a lot of
we
money.
actually have laws like that. It is the parents can be arrested. Your child protective services could potentially take the kid and put him in foster care. Stuff like that could happen if your kid doesn't go to school. They come after the parents if you're truant. So,
That's good. So how does
at least in New York, like I said,
homeschooling,
it's not mandated
homeschooling, huh?
across the state. Yeah, and homeschool like
Oh, okay.
Cal in here, he can tell you all about homeschooling and how bad it is and how it's related to cults and shit because he literally was came from that environment.
Yeah, they study economics in German schools. Okay, then let's start our main topic, right?
Yeah, now that we're almost an hour in and gonna wrap soon. But, we'll have plenty to talk about with this, I think.
Yeah. Let's think about this. My brothers and I used to say like, if Walter White, from Breaking Bad,
Mm-hmm.
was in Germany, then the whole series will never happen because he will have like insurance for the cancer treatment, and then they will they, he doesn't have to make like crystal meth.
Okay. So, I'm sure you have a lot to say about this report.
The thing we saw last time, right?
I mean,
Is there
I
something?
didn't put I didn't put this on the show last time. It only came out the other day. It was after the show when this came out.
Okay.
So,
No, I saw it.
yeah,
You're
I
talking
know
about this,
this post specifically is what was going around about HTS government and stuff.
but there's nothing like coming in the last 3 days or something.
I mean, this was the initial report that spread. I don't know. I haven't seen anything else besides this specifically. I mean, I've seen other
Yeah.
people reposting these videos, mainly the first one there.
So the first video, that video that is playing right now, like where
Mm-hmm.
is the um transgender woman is being beaten up by the militia guys. I saw what the militia guys dressed like, and I listened to their accent, and I think they could be they could be Lebanese. Like I'm not saying in Lebanon. This didn't happen in
Mm-hmm.
Lebanon. I'm talking about the people themselves can be Lebanese. Their accent is very Lebanese-like. They can be either Lebanese or from Damascus. Their accent is very it's very high Levant, which
Mm-hmm.
they
Very
people in
French
Aleppo don't
sounding.
speak this. Very French sounding, very bourgeois, you can say, like very. It's either Damascus in certain areas of Damascus or Lebanon.
But yeah, I was
And
just
I
looking at.
saw
He's got the Shahada flag on his arm. That's the only identifier.
yeah, yeah, and no, I saw all of them, and um, I think it's you have to like you have to understand is the situation, like the atmosphere in Syria, is very, very bigoted against basically the other, like everything in the form of other, whether it's like sexual orientation or another religious minority or ethnic minority. It's very, that's what happens when Assad rules for 54 years, basically like there is a very big difference between letting a national debate happen or like allowing people to express themselves and building that space and forcing that space through brutal force. So what Assad did is he forced security through that brutal force, right? So he didn't actually like allow a conversation and he didn't they just like tolerated gay people. They didn't even tolerate transsexuals.
Genders. That word is out of date. That's not very woke to say.
Sorry.
It's okay. I think
It
it's
will
really
penetrate Syria.
more about
It,
intent.
it, Fudge, we talked about this before the stream, John and and I told him when I talk with journalists and thinkers from the Middle East, Syria, and even sometimes some from Saudi Arabia, I tell them, like gay people are mistreated and this and that, and I talk about basically what we're saying right now, and always they always say they tell me, yeah, but man, there is a priority, there is a time and a place to for these discussions. People have no food. People are in dangerous places. They are in war zones. There's like a time and place, and there is a priority. And why are you talking about gay rights and shit like that when people are starving and people are murdered in the streets? And I kind of find it very like dismissive, very hypocritical argument because when are you going to fucking talk about it?
Never. They're just gonna scapegoat genocide and tokenize genocide so they don't have to talk about social issues.
It is very brutal in the Middle East, extremely brutal.
But also, like I said, this is one of the best sources. He says the Syrian government launched an arrest campaign. Is there any evidence? And also, public transportation posters are being distributed to inform women how to dress in public.
Uh, n- no, there is no dress code, but there is kind of um what do you call it? They're making spaces, yeah, different spaces for women and men in buses, public transport.
Mm, segregation.
Like yeah, it's like sex-based segregation, and yeah, it's not like there is no dress code. You cannot enforce a dress code in Syria. That will never happen.
So you think
Women still wear
you
skirts.
think this great source is totally off base here?
Yeah, completely. It's off base. We said
Mm.
also before the stream, the problem isn't the government. The government actually will protect LGBTQ. Like I know this sounds very awkward and weird, but believe me, like if the government, if there was no government, right? If it was pure chaos and anarchy in Syria, LGBTQ people will be lynched in the streets. This is just a fact, an unfortunate fact. It's basically like if Trump announced the purge tomorrow, what do you think will happen? Like just imagine, like there's like tomorrow is official purge day. There's absolutely zero consequences to anything. It will be basically like that in Syria. Oh man, you're very quiet today, John.
Yeah, I'm very tired, but you said you had a lot to talk about regarding this topic, so I thought I was gonna let you cook. So
Yeah, but it's there's no back and forth, right? There's no
yeah,
discussion.
it's difficult for me sometimes. But yeah, because I'll be reading something, see if it's something I want to pull up, move on.
Ah, you should have told me that. I would
I
have
be
led
slow
with it.
sometimes.
No, it's
Anyway,
if there is like any questions, I will like there is absolutely no limitations the questions. Like you can
hmm
ask anything
well, you said
about like the Middle
something
East,
about media
Syria.
coverage as well of this event, right?
Oh yeah, last time I told you like in Syria, right? Like in the
Well,
Syrian circles.
you said like yeah, I mean there was no last time. We didn't talk about this last time.
Yeah, yeah, I remember like yeah, I saw these videos and pictures in Syrian groups, and uh, and I can honestly say it's unfortunate, but I'm very sorry, but Syrians will like actually encourage this type of behavior against LGBTQ people.
Hmm.
Like I can say like 60% of Syrians will encourage it, will like you will have to go to Rojava to be protected if you're from LGBTQ. I think lots of LGBTQ also people escape to Rojava. This is like there is actually a friend of mine who wants to make a documentary movie about LGBTQ in Rojava, and basically the situation in Syria is very fucked because everybody have been extremely like suppressed to express their religious views. Like Syria was secular, so that means that religion was kind of forbidden. Like before the civil war, people who went to mosques before 2011 used to be on a checklist. Like I remember in 2009, I was in Damascus, and two of my friends were talking among each other, and one of them said like, "Let's go to the mosque." And the other guy said, "Are you fucking crazy? Like, there's like mukhabarat. They will what? Mukhabarat is basically the intelligence in Arabic. So it's like mukhabarat will fucking arrest us once we come out of the mosque." So imagine this: like people have been like religious identity have been suppressed for 40 years back then, 40 years. It's now 54 years, and now people are kind of happy to express their religious ideas. This is how it functions when you suppress people. Like if I tell you something, right? Like imagine your parents telling you something, and then you say like, no, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. This is a rebellious spirit, right? So imagine your parents are, instead of being religious, forcing religion on you, no, they're like atheists, forcing atheism on you, and like
Mm-hmm.
kind of doing the opposite of what they're doing. So you will say, no, I want to fucking believe in God, right? This is basically how rebellious spirit functions. So people were rebellious in being religious. It's not how it is in the United States. In the United States, if you're an atheist, no big deal, right? If you're religious, also no big deal. There's open society, far more open than any place in the world. And also like there is like religious freedom, um, social freedom, kind of like that. You can think about what they did in China. China also forbade religion, right? For a long time. I maybe they
Still
still do.
do.
I'm not,
They
but they're
certainly
still
do.
religious people, right? They're still,
Nobody can be above the chairman. God is above the chairman. Therefore, religion can't be there.
yeah. And imagine that, dude. Imagine if everybody's telling you like, if suppressing you from like worshiping a god, wouldn't you want to worship that god more? Like, like I'm an atheist. I can say that it is complicated.
Literally knocking down mosques and stuff. I wanted to talk a little bit. It's apparently over now, but there's a new color on this map, the orange color from Lebanon. Apparently, some people got a little angry at the border and may have, you know, gotten into some fights with some Lebanese people and some Syrian people on the border.
Hmm.
Um, so there's also this guy vlogging Syria, So it says clashes between Syrian forces and Hezbollah militias erupted on the border. Oh, it was in Haktua. So I don't know if these are necessarily Hezbollah or if they're Lebanese security apparatchik.
And they did officially elect the new Lebanese government, 24 ministers and the president. But I don't know if they
So,
started like officially started governing.
well, I guess there was just a little bit of stuff going on with cross-border clashes, and then also it says here Israel said it doesn't know how long it's going to be in Syria.
Oh, okay. I heard the new Lebanese authority
It
saying,
does say Syria between Syria and Lebanon, between the Syrian army and Hezbollah. So
yeah, I don't understand. I don't know what's how the situation is with Hezbollah logistically right now.
mm-hmm.
It's very nobody knows. Like you have to be in intelligence to know this information. Nobody knows this information.
Also, Jelani is meeting with Erdogan right now, or maybe he finished at this point, but
Yeah.
um, which is to be expected. I think this is really, oh, he's meeting with Erdogan. I don't care. The Qatar and Saudi Arabia were more interesting. Anyone from Europe, you literally anyone but Erdogan is more interesting. I assume they had already met, and already had the conversations. Why did I? It warped me to fucking the United States. Oh, because it's the secretary answered a question, I guess.
this is how it functions, Fudge. It's you suppress an identity that you cannot control and support like a nationalistic identity that you can't control. So, but people even have pragmatic reason for it, which is like social cohesion or something like that. And it is kind of it makes sense, right? Like social cohesion sometimes is more important than like like cultural diversity because like in certain circumstances social social what cultural diversity will um how they will like kind of disrupt smooth functioning of the state. So it makes sense from like a governing point. Like I'm talking about like hundreds of years ago, like 100 years ago. Not right now. Right now it's different. It's always different depending on the historical context, and it doesn't have to be brutal the way they did it, but it's it is a very complicated topic. Like the
Mm-hmm.
thing right now happening in Syria, this is the biggest example, right? There is you can say that and like not the yellow places where the Kurds are, in the green places, the Arab Sunnis, and basically also like you see where Raqqa is, that will also turn green. Sooner or later, it will 100% turn green, right? It's only a matter of time. And also eastern Syria, basically where the yellow is right now, like eastern in the middle, that will also change. And and then you will have the biggest cohesion uh, because all of them like basically Arab Sunnis who lived in that place with majority people, and that will ease governing and the new government wants to change the system to a market-based system, like economically. They want a free market-based, like a capitalism, which is also 100% okay because if capitalism is bad, if you cannot expand anymore, if you don't have any more, if any new markets, this is the thing that it's making life hell in the West because they cannot like they can no longer expand. They don't have markets anymore. So the only thing they have is each other. So basically, that's why you see increase in inequality because everybody's taking the poor people's lunchbox, and there is also poor people basically have so little, so they will feel more suffocated. But capitalism in Syria will function because there is literally nothing right now. It's like starting from the bottom, right? So it's completely different circumstances. This is my like nuance economical
Mm-hmm.
analysis.
So, I mean, what do we expect to see next? For is there going to be how open is the relationships going to be with Syria? There's this whole thing where they keep saying, is the U.S. going to withdraw? Like, what are the attitudes that you've found about people inside the country about these things? Do they like that Trump is in office or what? Do they even care?
Um, I think they like Trump. Most Syrians like Trump. They don't like him. They just like his policies. You know
Because
when
he's
he
racist.
yeah when he like said that he will prevent transsexual transsexuals from transsexual people transgendered. This is the correct one, right?
Yeah. It's okay. Different
transgenders
language.
from like participating in sports, right? Uh, People cheered that in Syria. They were very
Mm.
happy. Like even the nuanced, like the informed Muslims, the conservative Muslims, like this is very rare, but they will say things like, "Yeah, but do you remember when Trump banned Syri like Muslims from entering the country back in 2016 or 17?" And people will say, "Yeah, but that's in the past, right?" Yeah, because he will allow it now.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah,
just
yeah,
don't
but
care
people like
about
him.
it. Basically, is what they say.
They don't care now. They actually like him. They didn't like Joe Biden. They really hated Joe Biden.
Joe Biden, wake up!
Yeah.
You have to yell.
Yeah, and they will not feel they will not like it's America, right? So they will not feel anything. Like if America burned right now, they will not feel it because it's completely distant, like continents away country. So you can do whatever you want, and Syrians will like Trump more than Biden. They will not be affected by it. It all depends on like what Rubio does in the future.
Yeah, as I've said a few times, at this point, it's like that's my only silver lining. I was like, I mean, at least Rupio's there. That's a pretty low standard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and also Tulsi Gabbard is officially intelligence chief, so that will be fun.
You have a weird definition of fun, sir.
Yeah, I don't know. Dude, it's I don't know, it's very strange times we're living in right now. And there is no
Okay.
like there is nobody like there is no knight in shining armor. There is no hope. Not not that there is no hope, but there is no representative of hope, right? There in Germany there is absolutely nobody, no zero politicians. Like you in the States you have maybe AOC, right? And Bernie Sanders, who's like his final days. But in Germany, that doesn't like even that doesn't exist in Germany. No, Tulsi is confirmed, right? Man, I read that Tulsi is confirmed. Maybe it was fake news or something. Oh, okay.
Tulsi still
You
isn't
know
confirmed. Okay, she
you
will
know
be.
what's funny is yeah, you know Mishmaya. You know Mishmaya, the
Mm.
the 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 political commentator, political
Oh,
analyst,
Mersheimer, the idiot.
Mersheimer, yeah,
Yeah,
John
the
Mersheimer, yeah,
realist.
yeah, man, and his friend Sachs, dude,
Yeah, what about him?
they're fucking officially saying Tulsi Gabbard is the most important uh, politician that Trump nominated, and she has to like be president of like chief of intelligence. It's like, how open can you be? Like, how openly uh, are they fucking bought or are they compromised? Man,
Well,
they
Mersheimer
like,
definitely is a Russian agent.
yeah,
You can pretty
and
much take
Sachs also,
anything he says and throw it in the trash.
yeah. Man, it's a shame. I've actually read his book years ago. It's the tragedy of the tragedy of like politics, the tragedy of like something like politics. And his book was actually was very compelling. But I don't know. I don't know. I think maybe did he change? Maybe he changed. Like he wrote it like 20 years ago.
Well, I
Yeah,
think
tragedy
there's
of great
certain
power corrupts.
criticisms that are easy to make, and then all of a sudden you get stuck on this path, you know, like Noam Chomsky is literally is like the biggest lie that people still believe to this day and use it every. There's not a day that goes by where someone doesn't say that NATO said they weren't going to expand another inch in that meeting, and that literally was made up by Noam Chomsky, and it's a belief that probably over a billion people might have at this point. Is completely made up.
Yeah, no, Chelsea fucked up with that one.
I
Why would he do that? Why would he do that?
don't know, and it's still his central point that he talks about, and everyone believes it.
Man, you know, once you turn 70, you have to fucking leave politics. That's it. Like Noam Chomsky talked about politics until he was
So
93 fucking
you
years
want
old.
to know something interesting about the geriocracy? So
Right?
I just learned this the other day because you know AOC tried to get a position on the oversight committee head, right? And she's been like killing it in oversight, right? So she didn't get it because the Democratic Party believes in seniority, where whoever has been around longer gets the position, right?
Okay. Yeah, that's fucked up.
Republicans actually limit their own people and how long they can serve on committees. Is that
Okay.
interesting? Wouldn't you think the Democrats would be
Yeah.
the ones doing something like that? It's like, whoa, that's a rational policy from the fucking Republicans.
Yeah, because Democrats understand that they only like there to keep the status quo, right? But Republicans are making moves, right? Like who does the moves in American politics? Republicans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got anything else we want to
Yes.
say?
Nancy
I'm
Pelosi
very
destroyed AOC's chances.
yeah. Well, it's again, it's seniority, and that's the thing with AOC is she hasn't been there. Her hair is not gray yet, so she can't get any leadership.
No,
And it's not
there's
even a written rule either. You know, they do
there is
this.
one last point I want to mention about man, I wanted to talk about this 2 weeks ago, but I forgot, and here we are. Uh, do you know do you know what is his name? Oh my God, I'm so tired. It's been a long day, guys. It's been a very long day. It's been a very, very long day for me. I've like read a lot of reports today. Owen Jones. You know Owen Jones, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, do you remember like before American elections? Maybe you haven't watched him, but he was very like he only focused on Gaza, right? And he
Mm-hmm.
even like when the Syrian government collapsed, like when Assad collapsed, he even like talked about the axis of resistance a little bit, right? So my position like as a like a Kurdish Syrian who's like participated in like helped in initiation of the revolution. I was very angry and disappointed in him because I've respected him as a journalist, and then I saw him like become like, yeah, but what will happen like to the axis of resistance and shit like that. But he was actually like playing it very smart and luring in certain type of demographics to his channel, right? And
Baiting.
Yeah, baiting. He was fucking baiting, the fucking asshole. And he once like the elections are done and over, and then he started like showing his like real politics. And you know who attacked him? Like one of the tankies, um, that guy like who lives in Argentina, Badem,
Bad
Badem
empanada.
Infante.
Hilarious.
Yeah, yeah, and he was like, "This is a Zionist. Like Owen Jones is a Zionist." Imagine like saying like Owen Jones is a Zionist and he's a liberal Zionist and shit like that. And this is my point. My yeah, but
Another
Infante,
person
yeah,
who you can just throw what they say in the trash. He's actually more
yeah, and
accurate than Chomsky.
he is actually kind of
His
nuanced in
videos are good
some
compared to
stuff.
it. His
And so,
tweets are the worst, but some of his
you
videos
know,
are actually good.
some of his analysis about Russia is also good.
Hmm.
He's not a full tanky. He's not full on tanky.
I think
Like even tankies hate him.
he just needs to stay off of social media and only make videos, and people would probably have a lot better opinion of him.
Yeah, and that guy is crazy, which says a lot about tankies, right? Like if tankies, like even tankies say like that guy is not tanky enough because he actually have like based analysis of Russia, but people like who really hate Owen Jones for saying that he was basically saying Assad was bad person and Assad is shit and shit stuff like that. So people started hating Owen Jones. People who were like supporting Gaza for the wrong reasons. And my point is like this thing is kind of fading, right? These lines are kind of like becoming more defined to everybody else because like 6 months ago or a year ago and years ago people didn't understand like what is a tanky, what is like these positions, like right, you had to like really understand politics to understand what is a campus, what is like these different positions, and how can somebody who's supporting like Putin also support Trump, and these like intersectionalities between what you're seeing right now, like how can somebody um watch and support Glenn Greenwald and go also watch Tucker Carlson. And I
Both
think it's
are
like,
Russian agents. Easy. Next.
yeah, but like people are understanding this right now. It's becoming like very public, right? Like if Owen Jones, mainstream journalist, talks about it and understands it right now. I don't know, I'm just being hopeful. I'm trying to be hopeful here.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Okay. Oh, look at this nerd posting sources. Are they sources backing up what I'm saying, or are they saying I'm wrong? If they're saying I'm wrong, ban him.
What, where?
Nothing. They just posted the Wikipedia thing, but
Next
proprietary
week we
says
will
voting
probably
records, blah 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 blah.
next week we will probably talk about the West Bank and how Israel is now shifting their focus on the West Bank.
Yeah, I imagine.
So,
I imagine we'll start getting into some more foreign policy from Trump either this week or next week. We have to still wait to see what the response is, but
yeah. Yeah, and I think Trump is kind of blurting out what's supposed to be a secret future agenda.
he literally said we're gonna occupy the area. Like he's let the word occupation slip,
Yeah.
and people are more focused
Well,
on him talking about bulldozing it in the Riviera of the Middle East, that type of stuff. But I was like, wait, did he just say something about the occupation?
Dude, it's his advisors and the
He
people
said
around him
something like
must be like
occupy the
going crazy.
houses or something. It was like a slip, but it was interesting that nobody picked up on it.
No, occupying Gaza is it could happen. Okay, it's like kind of fishing in a barrel, right? It's like how you're like winging it, like playing poker and like pretending you have like a good set of cards. You're
Mm-hmm.
kind of like fishing, like kind of seeing like what's the attitude, what's the vibe, what's like if he can, he will do it. If he can't, if he will try maybe a little bit, like very, very discreetly, like his people will try, everybody will try. It's like there's like God knows how much intelligence on the ground studying the situation in the whole Middle East, like understanding how much backlash they will get, and also like doing the same thing in Europe and the United States. If there is a chance, they will do it. And now it's like kind of in a timeline where it's like nobody knows. Okay, nobody knows because can you guarantee that like the backlash wouldn't be dramatic? And even if the backlash was dramatic, are they not going to do that? Do you remember when Bush attacked Iraq? Do you think like he didn't understand the consequences, the potential like ramification for Europe and the United States, that he didn't like analyze, like his advisors and all of these people didn't understand what will happen over the next decades? Of course, they understood lots of it, right? But they still did it.
Yeah, that was dumb.
No, zero. Egypt will never do that. Like Egypt's economy is like almost collapsing, like it's like hanging by a very thin thread,
This is
and the
what, when
only
people
thing
say
is
these
like
things, I say, what economy?
yeah, exactly. And no, but like the only thing that keeping it afloat is like one of the things is uh is like the aid from the United States, right? The help, the getting the billions of dollars getting from the United States. And if they lose that, like you're not only saying that they will lose that, you're saying that they will go to war. Like, like they cannot, they will fucking collapse. In 2023, a dollar was 30 um, janneh, like Egyptian janneh, right? 30. Now it's 50. Now it's 50. It's like 50. Like imagine if I tell you uh, like eggs cost $20 now. Like doesn't doesn't affect
Mm-hmm.
how you buy it. I don't know.
Inflation.
Like 200%. Like not almost no. Oh man, the situation in Israel is like it's like it's extremely fucked up. Like there are no words in any human language that can describe like the Israeli situation.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's a fucking wild experiment. Fucking wild. Like the whole nation is built on like immense propaganda, like religious propaganda, ethnic propaganda. This is your homeland from 2000 years ago, and these
Mm-hmm.
people will not, they will fucking kill you and they will not tolerate you. And the only way to build a nation state is to be aggressive, like how the Nazis did it. And it was kind of a right for the Nazis to do it because it was their land and it's like their ethnic land and blah blah blah. And that thing happened to us. Like this is the propaganda in Israel. They teach that, right? And and we got that treatment because we didn't have a state, and now we have a state, so we can do whatever the fuck we want because it's our God-given state, right? And they do that to Palestinians, and like their surroundings and the shifting economical situation, like I mean, the political situation around them, right? Turkey, even Iran, even like they kind of like very blind to it somehow. They think they can control it forever. Like they will control. Uh, they actually believe it. Like they actually believe that their lobby in the United States have far much more power than
Mm-hmm.
what actually is, and they don't understand that. Like the Americans are duping them. Oh,
But Trump
is
says
it
that
fucking crazy?
everyone takes advantage of us. Okay, I really got to go to the bathroom though. So,
Okay, man.
any last words to say goodbye? No.
No.
Okay. We'll see you next week, everyone.